Welcome to Workplace Culture Store. This video is called When Following Your Passion Might Mean You're Always Broke. Now, we don't have a lot of slides for this one, so I'm actually just going to have the video on me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and the research that led to these discoveries. Throughout this series, we're going to address each of the 3 reasons people are disengaged at work and each of the 7 faulty assumptions about engaging human employees. But before we begin with those, I will first let you in on what became evident in my research, which involved a variety of sources, participants, exercises, one of which I will describe to you in the next video. This is the exercise I conducted with subjects most often. It has informed many of the discoveries I made on what drives people to work and to enjoy it at the same time. First, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and how I was ideally suited to make these discoveries. From what I can tell, I was born with a natural bent towards art, storytelling, imagination, books, movies, music, poetry, artistic pursuits. I don't remember it not being there. Let's just put it that way. This bent was evident from about the age of 7. That's the first time I remember being interested in books. I learned that Laura Ingalls Wilder wrote about her life in a pioneering American family, and I wanted to be the 20th century version of her. I even stapled together several pieces of paper and began writing my life story. As you can imagine, I didn't have enough material yet to fill all the pages, but that love of books and writing never left me. When I was 13, I embarked on writing a novel. And knowing the attention span of kids that age, you'd be surprised how much time and energy I invested in that project. I also did a lot of art and was the youngest competitor in a local juried art exhibition. You probably won't be surprised about what happened when I went to university. I pursued the same subjects. This was an excruciating 4 years, not academically, but because of the discouragement from literally everyone around me. Artistic and creative kids get this from every angle when they emerge into adulthood. When the same kid was 11 and he or she wrote a great story or drew a beautiful picture, the work was praised, it was exalted. Parents and teachers wouldn't shut up about it. The kid might have even won some awards. When they get to a more serious age, though, it stops being adorable. In my case, it was especially unadorable because I wasn't particularly talented at writing or painting. I could draw and paint, yeah. My works won some praise, but I was not in the same stratum as some of the other students. My writing was good too, but not enough for me to be published while I was still in school. Mentors told me my work lacked focus and sometimes even imagination. It would take some work to get me where I needed to be, basically. And that cut me deep. What would I do now? These were the only things I was good at, and I hadn't really invested time in anything else. What troubled me more was that nothing else would have ever had any meaning for me. At the time, I had a novel under development and 5 more in my head. I couldn't see myself abandoning them. At that time, I could have changed the focus of my studies, but I didn't. I stuck with it because I knew nothing other than writing and art would matter to me. I knew I would have to toil in unskilled jobs in order to hone my creative skills and hope that the future would open up and provide some opportunities. I even knew that I might never get there. I was willing to take that chance. I wanted my work life to be meaningful because I knew I would find it impossible to do what others thought of as practical and realistic. The translation I heard there was just boring. Some people in the same predicament surrender to external pressure. They go into computers, education, business. If they're lucky, that path will allow them to incorporate creative tasks that provide the meaning they need. But they might spend many days wistfully wondering if things could have been different. Motivation, particularly for uncreative tasks, for these people will be a great struggle. I found work that allowed me to do creative and artistic things. I even enjoyed building some practical skills at the same time. I later worked in white-collar jobs, which surprised me. I didn't think I'd ever get there. I had an uphill battle. Even though over the years I've developed some impressive skills, I still didn't get a lot of credit for my work. I even had people overtly insult me. In a job interview, a mechanical engineer sneered at my resume and asked, "What's the end goal here?" I had a boss ask me, "Where do you want your career to go from here? Haven't you topped out?" I was 42 at the time, and my only thought was, God, I certainly hope not. Now that you've heard my testimony about my career, when I tell you about what I later discovered, you probably won't be all that surprised. Proceed to the next video in the series, and we'll find out.